Hey folks, we just got back from the plating shop and we're going to unbox this stuff. So this should be kind of cool. Lots of stuff in here. We got all sorts of engine things, all sorts of, we got some tool parts in here. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. So stay tuned. This should be a good one. And we're back. Okay, we're going to empty the box out, see what we have. See if the biggest thing is make sure that we got everything back that we sent over to the plating shop. So this will be a surprise, just like it is for you as it is for me. So I'm just going to start throwing stuff out here. We'll spread it out here. It's intake tubes, hardware, more intake tubes. Intake tubes, we should have 4 of them. We've got 4 of them. Little beans. Let's see, we've got some, this is some tools, assembly tools that we're building. What else have we got in here? Through stud. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see what else we got. More tools. More tools. Have a tool prototype. Another tool. Now one of the things we talk about is when we send things off to the plating shop, you get paid. You have to pay for essentially 100 pounds. So it's a certain rate. This particular. Okay, hang on. Okay, little pause there. We were having a dog wrestling match going on. So we've got everything out. One of the things we talked about was that when we send all these parts out to be plated, there's a minimum charge. So the minimum charge is essentially based on about 100 pounds. Our product the stuff that we sent out was maybe 5 or 6 pounds. So what I do is anything I've got in the shop that needs plating to keep it from rusting, I don't care if it's from aircraft part or tractor part, car part, boat part, whatever. So we'll just put stuff in there and get the weight up, and we still end up coming in under. So these are all Lycoming tubes. They look real good. This is the type 2 coating, plating, which is called, we call it yellow cad or the dichromate. We have some tools here. These are just some tools that I threw in there, some tool plates. We're going to have these available for sale here pretty soon. These are just some chunks of old cylinder that we're using for some other tool tries that we're doing. So they were rusting, so we said, hey, let's send those in. Here's a through bolt. One of the things we do when we'll just dump all this stuff out. One of the things we do when we send our parts out is I'll try to put all the nuts in, just take a piece of 40,000 safety wire, and because this is in the barrel and it's getting bounced around, it doesn't have to be loose when we send it in a plate. So I just make those are my cylinder hold down nuts and through bolt nuts. There's some more nuts. These are cylinder hold down nuts. This is a through bolt or the case seam nuts. All sorts of different stuff. And that's kind of what's going on. Here's a oil cap for another engine. What else have we got in there? All sorts of stuff. Tell you what, instead of me sitting here trying to tell you all about it, let's go on the folks over at BILLMARK. Tim over at the BILLMARK was just super nice enough to let us come in there. So tell you what, why don't you go on and check this out? This might be kind of fun. Go on a trip, see how the plating gets done. Hey guys, this is Bill, and I'm here at BILLMARK.
BILLMARK Company.
BILLMARK Company in, where are we, Haltom City?
We're in Haltom City, Texas.
Haltom City, Texas, just northeast of Fort Worth. I've got Tim, General Manager of BILLMARK, and we are going to learn about CAD plating, steel fastener steel.
Correct.
Cool beans. So we brought our stuff down here. Okay, what are we doing? I came in here, and what we want, back in the day it was QQP 416, which is now AS or SAE.
It's SAE, AMS, QQP 416.
Okay, so
it's the same spec.
Yeah, all the mill specs migrated over to SAE.
Right.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do
they
that.
rewrite them about every 3 years just to make you have to go write new procedures for it.
And charge you money.
The government.
So what we want is, what we're going to get is yellow. I call it yellow. Yellow CAD. There's silver and yellow, and I think the yellow came out in the 50s, 60s?
It'd have been the late 50s probably.
Yeah, because on a lot of World War II
most of the stuff was clear at the time. time.
A lot of the World War II aircraft you see would have silver or clear.
Yeah.
And then they came out with the more better
Correct.
stuff.
And then we also do it in black and olive drab.
Oh, olive drab too. Okay. Does olive drab go way back or?
That I'm not too sure. I just don't.
Yeah. That's kind of the plating business.
So, yeah.
Okay. So what we did is we cleaned all our stuff. We media blasted it, got all the crap, the oil, the grease, the paint.
Yep.
And got that, and then brought that to you, which is goodness, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Cleaner the better.
cleaner the better.
Saves you money too.
Yeah. The other thing too is CAD plate is not a decorative plate.
No, it's a rust prevention.
It's rust preventive. So there is variability. I know in the spec it can be anywhere from a yellow, well, on the type 2.
Type 2 is the
type 2,
yellowish.
from yellow to light brown, I think.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, as
correct.
far as the color,
Yeah.
because it's protective.
The longer you stay in the yellow chromate itself, the darker will it get.
So the CAD plate process, and we're going to walk through here and do this, but you're going to be doing acid clean with hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric,
yeah.
and that'll get all the corrosion.
Yep. That'll get old plating and rust off.
Okay, and we'll take the old plating off.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Because that was the question was, do I need to bead blast all the old plate off?
No, you don't necessarily have to do that.
Okay.
The main thing to get to for blasting purposes is embedded rust. Surface rust, the hydrochloric takes off real simply with the old plating and stuff like that. And we will go through an alkaline degreaser before we go into the acid.
Okay, so
just to get fingerprints. And
then we
grease
acid,
off
or then
like
we do the acid clean. Then a rinse, I guess.
Yes.
Then a rinse. Then you go into plate.
Yes.
Okay, and then now hydrochloric, and you hear a lot of people talk about hydrogen and beryllium and all that, and the free atoms, and they go attack.
It will penetrate the material.
They'll try to worm their way through.
Yeah.
So then after you come out of plate,
weakens the part. Yeah.
it weakens the part. After you get done plating, and again we request a plate, but on any fastener, I believe it's you.
All hardware fasteners
request
we'll
a bake.
we'll go through a baking process.
And that's overnight.
23 hours.
23 hours.
Overnight.
Okay, and that's what that does. It kicks the hydrogen atoms out.
Correct.
Right. And
Tightens the part back up.
Tightens the part back up, and then now we've got a silver. We've got a silver or white or clear CAD.
Yes.
And what we asked for was the type 2, which is yellow.
Yellow.
So then it'll go into a dichromate.
A dichromate dip.
Okay, and that goes into a dip, and then what? Rinse
and dry.
And dry, package, and all that stuff.
That's it.
Okay, cool beans. Okay, we're gonna go. Let's go take a tour.
Explore.
Let's go explore. See where the sausage is made. Okay, man. Okay. Okay, here we are. This is
so what we would do is load up parts in a polypropylene or stainless steel basket. We would, depending on what the parts and material are, we have a rack system set up for longer stuff. We could do something up to 7 feet long. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So we would load parts in here. This is an alkaline degreaser. This would take off any light oil, fingerprints, that sort of thing.
This is the dip.
This is the dip, yeah. It would sit in here for probably 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
Taking off old oil, just machining oil, shavings and stuff like that.
Okay, so if you're a machine shop, you can still leave the cutting oil on it?
Yeah, it'll cut right through it, no problem.
Okay, cool.
And we have a rinse here.
Rinse, okay.
And then we have a hydrochloric acid here.
That's the stuff.
That's the stuff that takes off the old plating.
Okay.
The old surface rust. Some heat treat scale. If the heat treat scale is too much, then we'll have to go and blast it, which is another situation. Cool. Anyways, you'd rinse, go in here. Depending on how heavy the rust is or the plating, it can vary 5 minutes to 15 minutes.
And you've got timers on everything?
Not really. We just it's experience and eyeball. You know, you can see when the part's clean. Basically. So, anyways, come here, rinse. You come over here. This is a before plating tank rinse. You rinse in here. You load your parts in a barrel.
Okay, this is what I call a basket to me.
Yeah, this is This is not a basket. It's a barrel.
Barrel.
You load your parts in here. You close your door.
Okay, and that's I get it wrong every time. Anode, cathode.
This is an anode. This is the cathode. The anodes are in here.
Okay.
This is actually your CAD plating balls right here. That's CAD metal right there.
Cadmium balls.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are CAD balls.
So those will go away.
Those will dissolve into solution.
Okay.
This is kind of like welding underwater, so to speak. Basically what it is.
That's kind of cool.
Anyways, you load your parts in here, you close it up, bring it over here, set the whole barrel in here. I can kind of do that.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll get over here.
Yeah, you're fine. You look, obviously with the lid closed and everything, you load your parts in here, and when you make contact, you're carrying current
on the bars.
This, and and it's drawing the CAD out of solution. Is literally pulling it out of solution, kind of like welding underwater.
Cool.
And when it touches the material that you're plating, it's depositing the CAD on top of the
So that's
steel.
that's how you do nuts and bolts.
Yep, nuts and
Patches
bolts,
and nuts
washers,
and bolts.
so on and so forth. Correct. And you kind of fastener.
And then it's got the motor like a rotisserie.
Yep, it runs like a rotisserie. Exactly. Then you come back, jump in here, rinse, and you come over here and rinse.
Rinse again.
If you're going to go to the oven with stuff, some things don't require a bake.
Yep.
Like softer material.
Yep.
You go in the spin dryer, you dry. Then we put them in oven pans, depending on what baking pans, basically, just like cooking cookies.
Yep.
And we go stick them in our oven. We'll go check out the oven here in a minute. We can put about 1,500 pounds of.
So now we've got clear CAD.
You have a clear CAD on the part itself,
and we're gonna bake it. We're gonna bake it and get the.
Release the hydrogen enrollment in it.
Right.
That'll be overnight. If we went in today, come out tomorrow, we would yellow it or OD it or black it or leave it clear.
Yeah,
a lot of times it goes clear. Whatever the spec is calling out for on it particular job. Anyways, that's pretty meat and potatoes of CAD plating. We also do do black oxides on stainless and steel parts only. We do phosphates on steel parts.
Okay.
Those are paint primers mainly, or gun parts.
Now I had some dialogue with some folks and reading some stuff in Australia. They're like CAD is outlawed or whatever.
Yes.
What are they using?
Usually it's Australia, Europe, China.
What are they using? Are they using zinc?
They're using zinc.
Okay.
More than likely.
More than likely.
They don't, because CAD's a toxic, poisonous
it's a heavy metal
compound. It's a heavy metal. It's carcinogenic.
Yeah.
So there's very few CAD platers around anymore. So CAD is pretty much outlawed. You can't really even buy parts here that have been CAD plated and ship them overseas.
Oh, really?
That's not even that's a bad no-no.
Okay, because I know like General Electric engines, they don't use CAD anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
okay, cool.
It ain't going out of the country.
Yeah. And now these are big. Okay, now we've got some big monster baskets here.
All the lines are essentially set up the same. These are CAD barrels for bigger parts. We can run about 75 to 80 pounds in here at a time.
Okay.
And we have basically the same setup. We have a cleaner tank, just like the little one up front. These parts these barrels will sit in here and just tumble and tumble and tumble. This is a rinse tank. The hydrochloric tank does the same thing as the little one up front. It's just on a large scale. And then you got a series of rinse tanks. You got a four-station plating tank here, so you can stick 4 barrels in here and plate at the same time.
Oh wow!
You can't keep up with it, but you can do 2 at a time basically, because by the time one gets done, you get the other one clean.
How long does a basket stay in there to get plated?
Yeah, that really determines.
Or let's just say ours is type 2, class 2.
Well, the class in the spec determines the thickness.
Right.
That tells you how thick the plating is. And the class 1 is the heaviest.
Yeah.
That's 5 to 7 10,000ths. Class 2 is the middle grade, or middle of the road. It's 3 to 5 10,000ths. And then CAD 3 or class 3 is a flash. It's 2 to 3.
That's just for itty bitty things.
It's it's just not very thick. The plating's not very thick. You can and it typically on like a class 2, because most of the stuff we do is class 2, and we can do any class we want. It usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, really? That's all
to get that thickness at the bottom range.
Yeah.
Now, if you want it, some people will require they have it on the high side for their gauging.
Gotcha.
That they'll want it on the high side of class, and probably take an extra 15 minutes or so.
Okay, cool.
So maximum you'll probably be in here would be 40, 45
minutes. Okay, so this is the big line.
So yeah, and then you would just basically hop over here.
Yep.
These are the chromates. These are basically a series of rinses. This is the yellow chromate.
Oh, okay. This is our chromate.
Yeah.
So now we're taking a white clear or white CAD.
Correct.
And it turns yellow.
It turns it yellow in here. Yes,
okay, cool.
That's absolutely correct. These are just a series of
rinse
tanks.
Rinse.
You just want to have a good. If you don't rinse really well, you'll have sodium buildup. You'll have white powder on it. Eventually.
Okay.
So, if it sits on the shelf for too long, it'll just start turning white. Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Similar situation. This is the rack line. Does the same thing. everything's set up in reverse here because you're
and now we had some parts that were basket parts.
Yes.
And then we also had some weird parts.
Yes.
Now I know even like car guys,
yeah.
Car guys might have valve covers or things like that.
Yeah, valve covers, brake boosters.
Brake boosters, yes, all sorts.
Hood hinges.
Yeah. And that's where this goes.
would go.
And really the limit of your CAD is your tank.
Yep.
Is your capability.
It's what capability of what you can put in it.
What you can put in it. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
And all the same stuff.
Yeah, set up in reverse here because you're loading and unloading here.
Uh-huh.
So the cleaners are going to be in the very back. So you load here and you go to the very back and you work your way back out.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
So it's just, concept.
Cool,
if you want to come up here, this is kind of interesting.
Sure.
Watch your step.
Yep.
This is the CAD plating tank.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2-station tank, but like I said, if you get too much stuff in here, it's just too hard to operate at one time. But you can see it gassing right here. If you can get a close look in there, when you see it gassing, you know it's got contact and it's getting current to it.
Okay, cool.
So other than that, it's basically the same thing. The cleaner back here does the exact opposite. This is an electric cleaner. This is on reverse current.
Okay.
This blows stuff off the part.
Mm-hmm.
Electroplating puts it on the part.
Okay.
So this is reverse current from the plating tank. So you can see those gassing,
Yeah.
It means they're getting current. It's basically just cleaning off all the old scuff and heat treat scale and that sort of thing.
Cool.
So.
Okay. I guess, do you guys get a Christmas card from an electric company every year?
No.
You should.
The water department loves us though. We go through a bundle of water, man. Yeah, there's no shortage of water here.
Yeah, really.
So we have a small oven up front that is for little jobs, like the little station,
I saw that little one there.
station that we showed you right up front. Basically, we do stuff in little oven pans. They're just like baking bread.
Yep.
So, anyways, this is the big oven.
And bigger tanks.
Yeah, this is our zinc over here. This is our zinc line. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't put CAD and zinc near each other because the chemistry will kill each other. So you have to keep them completely away from
And you've got separate buildings.
Yeah, separate buildings, separate processes.
Okay.
Basically. This is an oven. This is our main oven here. We can probably put 1,500 pounds of screws in here at a time.
Oh, wow.
Basically, when you're running a big load of screws over there, like on the CAD line or even the zinc, these are the oven pans we stack in. We just forklift and put the whole thing in. So
they're just big old racks, that's all.
Yeah, they're just big.
Yeah.
We just have them custom made. They last 15 years.
Yeah.
They're pretty tough stuff. So,
cool.
So anyways, you just set it in there and shut the doors up.
And bake it.
And bake them. There she goes.
Cool bean.
Yeah, it's not real complicated. I mean, back when they started plating's been around since electricity's been around.
Okay.
Basically, it wasn't too far after they started using it for industrial purposes, for coatings.
Yeah.
And that's what made plating.
I mean, when you get back to the decorative stuff, you had the brass era cars, and then nickel was the first, I guess, real.
Yeah, nickel was the
first decorative,
shiny thing that people started going, ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
And then they started doing a lot of cosmetic stuff. And antique and stuff.
And then I guess late 30s, 40s, they really got into the corrosion part of it.
Yeah.
The military, I guess, was probably one of the
military was probably the spearhead for that. I don't necessarily think that the automotive industry was, because they were just making parts and building cars.
A lot of painted stuff.
Yeah. Most of their stuff was dipped in a paint of some sort or another.
Cheap,
but
probably lacquered by the rail car.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty much it. And,
excellent.
It's not the greatest tour in the world, but it gives you an idea of what our capabilities are.
Yeah. Okay.
And we grind out a lot of work pretty damn quick.
Super.
So.
Okay.
But if you want to restore an old car, we do a lot of old cars, motorcycles.
Yep.
Obviously, old vintage aircrafts and stuff
And
like that.
that's something that when I send aircraft parts in, like our deal was maybe 5 pounds, maybe.
Yeah.
And you go by the penny, what I call a penny weight, but 100-pound weight.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Well, we have minimum lots.
Yeah, minimum lots. So what you'll see sometimes in my stuff is I'll have my job.
Yeah.
And There might be a couple of tractor parts in there.
Oh, sure.
Trying to get my weight up.
Oh, yeah.
Anything in the shop I'm bee blasting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, go-kart,
Clear
motorcycle.
off your workbench.
Yeah. Anything rusty. And then once you get it cleaned and done, plated, you can shelve it and work on that project later.
You can put it on the shelf, and the cattle should outlive us.
Oh yeah,
if it's stored right.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Well, guys, that's the Cook's tour of getting our parts cab plated. And Tim, we just got to thank you a whole lot for taking the time.
More than
and
Bill, no problem.
Anyway, that's it for us.
We'll be happy to help you in the future.
Yeah. So, BILLMARK Plating, Haltom City. They can help you out. You plate all sorts of stuff except for
aluminum. Don't plate anything on aluminum here.
Yeah,
not in here is gone like cotton candy.
It's right. Boom.
It disintegrates very fast.
So again, any of your ferrous stuff, your stainlesses, whatever appropriate,
brass, copper,
whatever appropriate coatings you need, Tim can help you out. Okay.
Be happy to help you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Take care.
Hey, folks, we're back. That was pretty neat. We really have to thank Tim and his crew at BILLMARK. Super great folks, really nice quality work. Very, very pleased with them. So really got to thank them for that. We don't get any free stuff, but just the fact that they're cordial, it's really great. So we'll be back to work with them. Anyway, this is what while you guys have been watching the video, the walkthrough, this is kind of the product that we walked away from, the big box of stuff that we had. So we've got our intake tubes and all that. These are actually, you can see these are a little bit different color from the others. That's because these were racked, and all these small parts were put in the barrels. So a lot of these parts were in the tumble and all that, whereas these parts were just racked in a big bin. So that worked out pretty well. We had I've got everything organized, like combing, like combing cylinder hold down stuff, the case bolts, the case seam bolts, the starter, alternator attach hardware and all that stuff, some miscellaneous fittings, some baffle retention stuff. This is from another little 0200 that we're also working on at the same time. We've got here's some starter brackets, or pardon me, alternator and brackets and all that stuff. So everything's looking good, everything's cleaned up. We also, Tim and I did a little bit of a test on finish. We're working on these tools. And these are actually just made out of steel plate, mild steel plate. And this one had, we threw it in there with just the mill finish, just as it came out of the laser cutter. And this one, as you can see, it's got a lot of scale. The acid dip didn't really do as good a job on it because of all the mill scale. So on these here, we bee blasted them and it came out really nice. So we're going to go with that. So now I know what I've got to do in my process to get that going. These are just some old cylinders we had. And we keep these around in the shop. Anytime we split or take a cylinder off, we put this on and tighten up the through bolts so that there's no issue with the bearing creeping or anything like that. So we normally keep a couple of these around. These are good for every now and then, but we're working on something better for that. And hopefully we'll have a store here pretty soon. You can buy t-shirts and any other tools that we come up with. So we're slowly working on that stuff. So that's what's going on. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for seeing what goes on. Hopefully you learned a little something about CAD plating. Again, in the U.S. and a lot of other countries, it's still okay. There's plenty of precautions and all that. Most important thing with CAD plate, it's very similar to lead, is you get it from either handling it and putting your hands in your mouth, or eating it, ingesting it, or you get it, believe it or not, from secondhand smoke or cigarette smoke. It's a byproduct of that. So what do we say? Don't smoke cigarettes, cigars, and any of that other stuff, and wash your hands. Okay, that's what Mom would say. So that's it for this episode. Hope you learned something. And again, make sure you hit the like button, and subscribe, share, notify, all that cool stuff. We've even got Patreon. If you want to throw us a couple bucks, it helps out. But hey, we really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Rats out.